Good morning. How are you? And I say good morning because I feel like my office seems awful dark this morning, but I still want to get this video out. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, actually when I was away at the Jersey Shore for my birthday and anniversary, I was contacted by a media company and they asked me if I would like to be interviewed by Scott Miller from Create, Build, and Manage Daily. It is a TV station in Dallas, Texas, I believe. I mean, I know it's Texas, but I'm thinking Dallas. And I would appear via Zoom, and I had not done that yet. So I've been on podcast and I've been on panels and boards and things like that in my professional world, but not as a professional artist. So I was intrigued and I thought I might have some things to share with other artists. I didn't know what they were going to ask. I was completely surprised when they asked me the questions that they did. It was funny because when I got done, I didn't even remember what they asked me. So when I went back to look, when they told me when it was going to air, when I went back to look at the airing, I was surprised at the questions because I think I just, I was nervous and I think I talked too much. But I'm being critical, and I always tell you all not to be critical to yourselves. So I'm not going to be overly critical. I enjoyed it. I love the experience, and so I wanted to share it with you. And so it's only like 8 minutes long, but I do remember talking about commissions and how I bring the client or customer, or my collectors as I call them. I call them if it's someone who has repetitively bought or has bought to me before, it's one of my collectors. I feel very bonded with them. If it's someone who hasn't before, I will call them clients, potential clients, and people who love art. But I talk about what happens when someone commissions me to do a piece of art. And I remember him asking me the question how I got started. And some of you know my story. Some of you may not have heard it before. And then any advice I would give. So would I've answered him differently? Probably not. I mean, I answered what was on my heart. So it's a short interview, so it doesn't go into a lot of detail about each of those areas, but I wanted to share it with you. So let's get into the interview. Don't be harsh on me. If you tell me I look nervous, I was. If you tell me, I could have answered a different way, I probably could have. But it was an experience that I wanted to have, and I enjoyed it, and I thanked them so much for even inviting me. Just so you know, I was found on the Align. I'll look it up, put the link in the thing. It's a website, community platform, I guess you would call it, that I am on. And if you're not on that within your community, it's a good place to meet other businesses that maybe you can collaborate with. And I have had contact from other people through that before. So it's something that, I wanted to share with you, and you might find that as an avenue to grow. I mean, as you can tell from this video, that it was a way for me to gain some exposure, so it might be something you might want to look into. So without me talking more, because I do when I get nervous, here's the video. I hope you like it. Let me know your comments if they're nice. Thanks.
Cheryl Wilson believes your place should be as unique as you are. Wilson is an artist, and she's joining us tonight via Zoom. Cheryl, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. Talk about your approach to art with your clients.
Well, I do a lot of commission artwork, and a lot of artists are actually afraid to do that. But I feel that by bringing the client or my customers into the process with me, they tend to become a lot more engaged. I've also found that a lot of people, if they've never bought a piece of original art, then they need someone like me as an artist to be able to help walk through the process. I have them start by looking at my website to kind of gear them to what kind of art they like. And then I have like a short interview with them where I just talk about, what is it that you're interested in? Are you interested in blues like from the ocean? Do you like texture? Do you like gold? Do you like lines or circles? And then I allow them to come into the process 2 or 3 times during when I'm creating the art, and that's kind of risky because you're showing the behind the scenes, and sometimes that's at an ugly point. But at that time, it takes them from like zilch to one, so they don't see a blank canvas, and then they can start to become engaged. And I think art is a very healing process for people. And so at that point, they become excited, and then they can tell me, I like to see more blues. I really like that texture. I like to see more lines or circles or something in the art. And so by the time we're done, the piece is created uniquely for them. And my goal is that every time they see that piece of art in their home or in their office, that they can see a part of their soul in there, and that there's that bonding, and it becomes a very unique experience for both me and the person who has the art on the wall.
Wow. That's impressive. As an artist, I'm curious how hard it is to paint what your client wants, because most artists, they just want to paint their vision, right?
Right, that's true. That's why I bring the client into the process with me. And that's one of the reasons why I have them go out to my website and look to see what type of art I do. Because I'm a very abstract, extremely messy type of an artist. Sometimes I have a lot of emotional pieces out there. And then I have a lot of calm pieces. So by having them look to understand what type of art I do, they're able to tell me their vision. And by creating from within my soul and kind of becoming bonded with each of the people that I deal with, then I'm able to understand, and I'm a very empathetic person anyway. I'm able to pull those together. So it is... the first couple commissions I did, I learned from them, and I learned that bringing the client in with me when I create helps me understand, and I lose the fear, and they become more empowered and working with me on the in painting.
You mentioned your website. We're going to put that on the screen for those who are watching tonight. It's CherylWilsonArt.com is where you can go and check out some of her work. When did you discover your gift for painting? Because that always fascinates me when I meet an artist such as yourself. Was it something you were finger painting as a girl and you just never left that, or did you discover it as an adult?
Well, I always wanted to do art, some form. My dad was, he's still alive, very creative. He's a musician. But it was my mother, who has since passed away, was the one that was the academician and said, no, you've got to go get your degree. So I got my degrees, I got my certifications, got my master's. I started my own company in project management and risk management, and I worked for a lot of the government agencies and the DC Beltway. But it was always this nagging desire to continue to play with arts. And it was when she was diagnosed with dementia that I chose the things that I could do to be close to her, since I basically could pick what contracts I wanted to do. And I decided then, what if Alzheimer's took over my world? I wasn't going to wait any longer to become an artist. So I started down that path, and it was right before COVID hit was when I went as a full-time artist, and I have not looked back, and I've just enjoyed the process and have taken everything that I've had built up for all these years and have just gone gun-ho into my art process.
Well, you've had some great success. In fact, your artwork has appeared in several famous locations. Any particular location that kind of surprised you to have your artwork as part of that location?
When I sold a piece of art on an online gallery, and they came and picked it up, but I was to put the address, and I noticed it was in England, and then they told me that it was going to be in a residency outside of Buckingham Palace, and that it was in a private residency, and I just was honored, one, and that was just a point in my life that I think I realized that my art can go anywhere. It's going to live and breathe once it leaves my studio. It's going to live and breathe somewhere. And so that, I think that was the most exciting spot that I guess still touches my heart, that it's in a residency that close, I think, to the palace.
That's awesome. That's very cool. Cool story. You got about 30 seconds, so make this quick. One piece of advice for inspiring artists tonight.
I would say use social media. Let that be your friend. Don't be afraid of it. Keep up with what the going social media platforms are doing, and treat your art as a business. From the first day you
smart.
take $1, you've gone and you've crossed that line from a hobbyist into being a business person.
Great advice, Cheryl. Appreciate your time and sharing your art with us tonight. Again, it's CherylWilsonArt.com. Stick around. This is Great Build and Man It's.
If I haven't said this lately, I want to say thank you so much for being a part of my journey here. And I'm trying to be more in front of the camera. I am very much of an introvert, and my professional world, I had to be out in front of people, and I got used to that when I started back into another career, which was my art journey about 7 years ago. I became very comfortable being my introvert and going behind the scenes, and sometimes not talking to people for a week or so at a time. I think I remember telling you the story that when I went to visit my grandson, I don't know what I had said. I had written it down at one point, but I said something like, you know, I really enjoyed having him in my life. He's only 3, but we have this bond. And I think I may have said I'm lonely or something. And he looks at me and he says, on the iPad, he says, go see people. And that little wisdom of his meant so much to me, because he's right. And I also mentioned on my social media that he has been with me on the iPad when we walked around the house, and I've got the iPad upstairs in this office, and we would together, I would walk. He walks around and shows me his new toys and things, and I would walk with the iPad down to my art studio and show him my new art, which he wasn't very interested in, but I did anyway. And especially when we were learning colors together, or he was learning colors. I already know mine. And so he knew my art studio was downstairs, and one of the other comments he made was, or go downstairs. So art is a place that makes me happy. It's a place that helped me get over, and I did speak on the interview about my mother. It helped me get over, not really over, but it helped heal a lot of things that I was going through with my mother, and since through some issues, health issues. And I know how much art means to so many of you that watch my channel, because you've told me. And so I appreciate those that come back every week and leave me a comment, those that encourage me, even those that have left me some good feedback. I appreciate you, and I love you, and I value as a part of my friendship, because I don't have a lot of physical friends around me, because I do stay within my walls. I mean, I have everything I want right here, my studio downstairs, my art room up here, my office up here, and I can have food delivered, so I don't go out. But you've become a part of my world, and it has meant a lot to me to have the friendships I'm learning to open up to. So thank you. And those that are new, I hope you continue to come back and you can be a part of my journey with me. And I hope to continue to do the larger art. That's what I do and sell the most. It's harder to do it on video, but I hope to do more larger art and show more process and the things that you want to see, and then show more of behind the scenes me as an artist, because that's what you are, as an artist, and behind the scenes is what makes you who you are. So I kind of got off a little bit from the interview, but thank you if you stuck to the end of this, thank you. Let me know that you did. Thumbs up helps my channel, is what they tell me, and it just encourages me. I love comments from you, and I just love the fact that you watch my videos with me. So I love you, and I mean that, because it's a way for me to tell you thank you. So this was an off-cycle video to kind of just put the interview out there for you. So I hope you enjoyed it. So I'm going to go for now. Bye. Have a great week.